Anybody who knows Paul, he is a fixture around town.
Sigal Reese. Hi, Sigal.
Hi. So what was that like? And
Hello again, everybody. We're here with Stacy Lane, brand new principal, Dr. Margot Brasic. Got it right?
Yes.
Okay. We're here on town meeting floor with none other than Judy Langone. Hey everybody, welcome to a very special edition of Your Town at Work. We have an exclusive interview, the first television interview with Tony Mazzucco, and this is, we're not quite post-quarantine yet, but almost. So, Tony, are you there?
I can read you loud and clear, Gerri. Good to talk to you.
So Tony, first and foremost, how are you feeling?
I feel great. I feel 100%. I am one of the lucky few who did not develop any symptoms, even though I did end up testing positive. So I felt great the last couple of weeks. It's been a busy few weeks in town, and of course, working from my headquarters here on the Hatton Street where I live has been a little bit challenging, but I've been able to stay in touch with everyone. And, you know, putting 15 hours in a day from home is not that much different than doing it from the office. But I feel great. I've received so many calls and emails and text messages and messages through social media from people all over the country, but mainly people in the community, neighbors, friends, and family. And the community's been absolutely wonderful.
So we're gonna scroll back a little. March 6th, which is a day that for many of us will remember when the phone rang and the Board of Health called. First of all, take us through kind of what has happened to you over the last couple of weeks.
Sure. So I think as most people know, I was at an event, as many people were, where somebody had tested positive for the COVID-19. And what happens when that occurs is that the public health department in your city or town, and we of course have a great public health department here in Norwood, begins calling all potential close contacts of that individual. And they define that based on guidance that the CDC and the Department of Public Health for the Commonwealth put out. And they ask those people to self-quarantine. Anyone they ask to self-quarantine who shows symptoms, coughing, a fever, they ask to get tested. I happen to display some symptoms. I had a very slight cough for a few days. I was gone within 2 or 3 days after I was asked to self-quarantine. But I was asked to test. I did test positive. I've been probably 2 weeks now with no symptoms, so I'm feeling great. And I felt great throughout the process. That's not the case. That's not going to be the case for everyone. But I got a call that I needed to quarantine, and then I needed to go for a test. And we're making sure that we follow the guidance of the public health department. We said right from the beginning, we're going to make sure public officials follow the same rules that our staff are advising the public to follow. And we decided to release my name and information and later the superintendent's just to make sure everyone knew where some key public officials were during a public health emergency. So I've been home for a little over, or just about 2 weeks now. I have been home and have only left my house to go get a retest, for which I'm waiting on results for. And that's the only time I've actually been able to leave my house in the last 2 weeks. I know there's a lot of other people going through that same situation right now.
So you clarified you're waiting for the results of a retest that's going to say you're all clear, and then you can go back to the office.
Correct. It's a combination of making sure you get that clear test and then guidance from my primary care doctor and what the public health department feels comfortable with.
So let's talk about, now we know you've been working your usual 15-hour days while you've been home, but how else have you been occupying the time? I mean, you're alone, quarantined by yourself, basically, in your apartment.
So it's mainly been filled with work. I haven't had much of a chance to take a step back and breathe. I'm trying to Skype with friends or FaceTime live when I can. I do a little bit of the day. I try to take a break when I eat to just give myself 20 minutes or half an hour to sort of eat quietly. I spent a little bit of time outside in my backyard a few days ago when it was sunny on a conference call, of course, from my backyard. But for me and for most of the team, the incident response team that the town has put together, our public health and public safety departments and some staff from my office, they've been long days just coordinating via email and via phone. I've been checking my averages on my iPhone between 12 and 15 hours of screen time on my phone a day. So I feel like I I'm attached at the hip to my phone. It's tough to be in quarantine. Again, I was lucky on the health side. I'm lucky on the work side that my work has been keeping me quite busy responding to folks and getting in touch with folks. But I think it's important to try to find a little time each day to do something that you enjoy, whether it's a little bit of reading, try to watch a little bit of television, play a little bit of a video game. I've been having lunch dates via Skype with folks, and that stuff, little things like that are important to just keep some sense of regularity.
And of course, the response by the town has been exemplary, starting with Sigal Reese from the Department of Health, and just there was no playbook on this. So what have you learned from this whole experience?
Well, one of the things we've learned is that you should always have a system in place and follow your system and follow your training. One of the things that we did right away when we realized we had a bit of an emergency, and it was sort of twofold. One was we knew a number of officials were going to be quarantined, including key folks in the town, and we knew that we had our first positive cases here. So we activated our Emergency Operations Command, which is standard protocol for most cities and towns, and we appointed an incident commander. And in this case, because it's a public health emergency, we appointed Sigal as our incident commander for this particular incident. And she's done wonderful, and Stacy Lane in her department has done wonderful as well. The core group is of course, Stacy and Sigal taking the lead, myself and Bernie Cooper and Kathy Carney, our public safety chiefs, and we've had involvement from a lot of other departments as well as needed. So that's always been our continuity of operations plan. That's always been our emergency plan. We put it into play, and it's been working very good. A lot of dedicated town employees still going to work every day, still providing services, and that's critical. But we follow the rules and the training we've always practiced, and it's worked well for us. In terms of what we've learned, I think the country is struggling to adjust to a public health emergency. We often think of emergency preparedness in a lot of other different areas. But at the local level, we're better equipped with the issues that we face to handle, I think, even than we thought we would be. Communication is key. We have a 9 a.m. briefing call every single morning with our incident command team, and we probably talk 6 or 7 times a day throughout that. We send out every other day emails to department heads, to all staff. We're doing every other day all department head email, all department head conference calls. So our communication has been good, but that's one of the challenges we've faced, and that we think we've done well with. And one of the things we've learned is how critical it is to be able to communicate with people and to know how to get in touch with people via phone, via text, via email. It's been really critical. Getting our social media presence out there and getting information out there to the community too has been critical. We're deploying some new software to be able to do that a little bit more effectively across our different platforms. We've realized that that's also a critical means to make sure people know where they can go for information and to keep them updated about what's going on. I would say almost half of what we're doing is communication, getting it out there and getting the information to the people. And as time goes on, we're continuing to develop our emergency operations and develop contingency plans and look at different ways that we can help the community and help our workforce continue working as well.
One of the things that you did, and again, this is a lot of leadership has been shown during this time, is you came out and basically said, I've been exposed. I'm going to go into quarantine, and we roll back to that March 6th date, when I honestly can tell you, and you know this well. My husband and I were expecting to spend a long weekend in Boston. We found ourselves starting our quarantine and getting instructions, but a press conference was held. What prompted that decision?
Well, there were a couple of things. Once we received notification from the health department, and they let me know that we would have to start quarantining individuals, and I would be among them, we quickly put our plan into action. We developed the team. We made some of the important calls we had to make, and then we decided on our action steps, and then we all went at it. And went at it, for me included, having to go home. So we had to follow the same rules. We decided to do the press conference because we wanted to make sure we were out there out front with everyone about what was happening. In particular with myself and with the superintendent, we didn't want there to be a absence of some key public leaders at a time when the community was going to start wondering what was going on and wondering where they were hearing from people. So we wanted to be ahead of it with the community and be out front with the community about what we were doing and what we were going through and where some of our key public leaders were during a time of crisis. And to reassure everyone that I'm still here, I'm just going to be working from home. We wanted to make sure that we let everyone know that we were asking public officials to follow the same rules that we're asking the public to follow. We're all in this together, and we know that things like quarantine can be scary. We know for some people testing positive is going to be very dangerous and it's going to be very challenging. For some, it won't be. We wanted to be right out there and upfront with everyone about everything that was going on and everything that the town was doing, and to communicate regularly with the public. Our sole focus from day one has been the health, safety, and welfare of the 30,000 residents in Norwood and the folks who come here to work as well.
Going forward, what can the people of Norwood expect to see as far as normalcy coming back at Town Hall?
So we're sort of adjusting to a new normal. This public school department, and this is school departments across the Commonwealth, have done great at moving to an online curriculum within a week and still trying to get content out there to students. And that's being replicated all across the country. Town hall staff and other town departments have responded very well to. Most town services are running like normal with just a slight delay. So we know that town facilities will likely be closed to the public for the next couple of weeks. You can still call us on the phone. We're always going to be here to answer. We're always going to be here to respond. Public safety has made some changes to how they operate, but the police and fire will always answer calls. They will always be there to respond. The light department will always be there to respond if the power goes out. And the DPW is still working every single day for us. You can call any town department on Monday and you can let them know what your needs are, and we'll work with you to get that service to you. It's going to be a couple of missteps along the way as we figure out how to mail out forms we normally don't mail out, how we verify things. We'll still take some folks on a case-by-case basis by appointment at Town Hall to make sure we're continuing to provide services. Most of our services can slow down for a short period of time, but everything the town provides is a critical service. Some staff are going to be moved into different positions as we deal with the ongoing challenges from the public health emergency. But all of our services are still going to remain intact, and all of our departments are working one way or another. They're shifting a little bit into how we do this, how we move to a remote world and a remote service world, and that'll take some time, but all of our services are still there. You can still expect to get some variety of some sort of service from Town Hall. All of our statutory and required services are going to continue. The library is developing programming online, and they're developing looking at systems where they can still get books out to people. The rec department has done a great job in town with getting information out there on Facebook Live and doing, having sports folks show you how to throw a pitch, having cooking shows continue to go on in programs for kids. So they're just changing how we get that programming out there until we can all come back together the way we traditionally do with our municipal services. But all services are still being provided. They're still on the table. Some are just changing a little bit, and the staff have responded admirably to it. We're also looking to deploy some additional services to the community. We're getting more information out there on social media. We did a great series of public service announcements. Kathy Bishop and Sigal Reese have done phenomenal getting that information out to the public. We were one of the first communities in the Commonwealth and the country to get out our own media. Incidentally, we could not have done that without Norwood Community Media. They've been one of the biggest helpers and the biggest partners in this, in our ability to get information out to the public. We're working closely with the hospital as well. They've worked closely with Norwood Community Media. So Norwood Community Media has been a key part of how we're able to get information out to the public. In the next week or so, we're looking to activate a citizen information center. We're going to have numbers for folks to call where we can start triaging concerns and issues that people have and following up on them. We'll likely have that up and running by the middle of next week, and it'll sort of be a one-stop shopping center for folks to call, and we can start directing people to different services and information. It'll also be an opportunity for folks to verify things that they've heard, or if they have information, they'll be able to call in. It'll be a little slow getting up and running at first as we sort of take calls and need to triage them one-on-one, but we're going to be able to get those calls that are coming in with different questions, get residents the answers they need, or connect them with the services they need. And then we'll be able to get some of that information out on our integrated social media platforms as well to make sure that the calls that we're getting in, we're able to get out on social media and on the web for folks as well.
Super. All right. So for you, Tony Mazzucco, what is the first thing you're going to do when you get out of quarantine?
I can't wait to just go back to Town Hall and walk into the building. It's pretty hard for any town manager to be told to stay away from their town hall for a couple of weeks. I've had a few folks send me pictures of Town Hall and tell me that Town Hall misses me, and I can tell you I miss my Town Hall as well. Even though we'll be operating with skeletal crews and rotating work schedule with people working from home, I'm looking forward to being back in my office at Town Hall, and then in a safe and cognizant of social distancing way, being able to be out in the community.
Well, knowing you like we all know you, I have a feeling ice cream might be a little bit in that plan also, but again, keeping a social distance when you do it. Takeout only, my friend.
Absolutely. And I've been getting takeout every day. I mean, what a great excuse to break your diet and just get takeout. But I want to encourage folks to focus on trying to get as much takeout as they can. And I know that sounds strange, but we have a lot of people who are out of work in the community and throughout the Commonwealth. And unfortunately, we're anticipating more job loss is going to come, and it's going to take some time for the economy to deal with this and to recover. But we have a lot of restaurants that are trying to offer takeout service that don't normally survive on takeout service. Let's help them out. They're such a critical part of the community. We're going to need these businesses here when this is over with. So I encourage everyone to go ahead and order some takeout, whether you call and have it delivered, whether you stop and pick it up, and go to any restaurant in town. They're all great. I visit all of them frequently, but focus on some of the places that don't traditionally offer takeout that are going to still try to make a go of it. If you're going to the grocery store, I also want to encourage everyone, practice your social distancing, but also let's not go crazy buying supplies. Buy what you need for you and your family. Be safe about it, but remember to think of your neighbors. I'm so impressed the way our community has responded, the way just ordinary residents are getting together via social media. They're making masks, they're swapping books, they're running errands for people they've never met before, they're raising money. The way this community has responded has been incredible, and that's what we need people to keep doing. This is going to be a long challenge for our community, for the Commonwealth and the country, but it's not going to be one overseas. It's not going to be one on a battlefield. It's not going to be something that the government just comes up with a solution and solves. It's going to be every resident of the town doing what they can do for themselves, being safe, following good suggestions and following the suggestions of our public health department, and most importantly, helping out their neighbors and being neighborly. That's what's going to get us through this more than anything, is taking care of your family, but take care of the people on your street and take care of some of the people you don't know. That sense of charity and community that we have in Norwood, that Norwood does better than any other community, that's always been our greatest strength, and it's going to come to bear now to get the community through this.
We're going to end on that. Tony, fabulous message of hope, and we will get through this together. So glad that we see you with your usual smile on your face, looking good, and I know you're looking forward to being out and about, keeping your social distance, but being seen in town hall again. So we wish you the best of luck with that, and we wait for the all clear. Thanks again.
Thank you, Gerri.
And thank you all for tuning in to this special edition of Your Town at Work.
Anybody who knows Paul, he is a fixture around town.
Sigal Reese. Hi, Sigal.
Hi. So what was that like? And
Hello again, everybody. We're here with Stacy Lane, brand new principal, Dr. Margot Brasek. Got it right?
Yes.
Okay. We're here on town meeting floor with none other than Judy Langone,